Well, the House is expected to pass the notorious $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill. Some are calling it just a spending bill. What exactly is the money going toward? Joining us now to weigh in to tell us how she feels about it is Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn from my former home in Brentwood, Tennessee. So, Senator, thank you for joining. Tell me what you don't like about this bill. I'm assuming you're going to vote against it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And what do you think is in there that should not be in there?
Oh, Bob, there is a lot not to like about this bill. What we have to bear in mind is the Democrats decided to put everything on their Christmas wish list into this bill and say, regardless of what anybody thinks, we're going to pass it anyway. It is very disrespectful of hardworking taxpayers. And I will tell you that in Tennessee, I have not talked to many people that think that more spending for COVID is a good idea. We've already done nearly $4 trillion in COVID relief. The money that was passed in December still is not out to local governments and schools and communities and small businesses with extra rounds of PPP. And people are saying, hey, wait a minute, why are you doing this? We're finding out just now what we're going to get, and we don't even have that money yet. And the thing with disaster relief is it's to be targeted, temporary, it is to be timely, and just to pass money so that you can say, well, we're going to put in $350 billion for the states. And by the way, $50 billion of that goes to New York, $27 billion goes to California. How much do you think other states are going to get? Not very much at all.
Yeah, significantly less, I understand, to states that reopened, and therefore their unemployment numbers weren't as bad as states that, you know, kept everything closed and continue to, like New York and California. You were talking about being timely and targeted. I know there's part of the plan that includes millions and millions of dollars to go out globally to help fight future pandemics, I think through 2024.
You're exactly right. And see, Heather, this is one of the things. When you talk about timely relief and getting money to people that need it, getting money into vaccine distribution, getting shots into arms, there's very little money in this bill that does that. But there is a lot of money that they would allocate over the next 10 years. Get that? And so we are hopeful that we are completely past the COVID pandemic and that there are vaccines that are working. And thank goodness we had Operation Warp Speed with President Trump to get those vaccines developed and those shots into arms. But here's what they're doing. They're putting money out for foreign aid to help vaccinate people in other countries. And I heard today one of the president's team saying, well, you know, until this vaccine is under control in every country, we have not recovered from COVID. And what we need to do is focus on helping U.S. citizens that have been adversely impacted. We need to make certain that we get shots in the arms of our most vulnerable, of our teachers, and then work through our population. We need to be mindful that spending $5.5 trillion, which is what this new bill would push us to, is building up debt that our children and our grandchildren are going to have to pay in decades to come.
Yeah, and it affects the current markets as well because it drives up interest rates, which can be inflationary. There are a lot of problems with it. Is there a bill you would approve of? I mean, are there things in this bill that you would say, okay, I can live with that? And are there talks going on to that end to actually have a bill that both sides could live with?
You know, Bob, we have been very specific from the very beginning of this COVID issue and the pandemic that there needed to be support for individuals that lost their job through no fault of their own, that there needed to be support for businesses that had to change their process of business and support them and their employees during this pandemic. There needed to be funding for vaccine research. And as I said earlier, Operation Warp Speed, thank you, President Trump, was very successful. And we want to continue with those distribution dollars. We want to continue to make certain that the needs are met of our healthcare workers. We want to make certain that schools have what they need. And indeed, there is less than half of the money for schools, secondary schools, and also for higher education that has been utilized to this point.
Yeah. One of the things in Tennessee drives us crazy, because we're in Virginia now, is they're open. Their kids going to school. And
hey, Bob, I'm going to tell you what, you should come down and go with me in the state. We are open. We're doing well. Our restaurants, our live venues have a lot of concerns.
Yeah, it's a good example. Absolutely.
Open.
You don't have to sell me. It's just too long of a commute. So, thank you very much.
Don't get down there.
All right, Senator. Thank you so much.
Good to see you. Bye-bye now.
Good to see you.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.